Welcome everybody into another reading of Investigations Gone Wrong. It is of the Asylum. This is going to be part 6. Part 6? Oh no, part 5. No, part 6, yeah. Where we last left off, where Scootaloo, what you doing? After Bloom yelled backing into the corner with the bed along with cowering Sweetie Belle, which is right there. I'm not gonna be saying too much. I'm just gonna go into the reading and let's continue. I didn't do anything. The wind picked me up, howling through the building. Doors slamming the hallway and a high-pitched sound that almost resembled terrifying screams ranged throughout the corridor walls. Scootaloo joined her two friends in the corner, scared out of her wits, of course. The ponies watched as the words on the wall grew brighter and brighter until the light was almost blinding. Shielding their conceived eyes, they winked as the light finally darkened and the words have been revealed to have changed. The phrase now read in plain equestrian, "That horse demon rises tonight." The gym begins to grow and the howling wind knocked them around the circle. Each gym adopted a red tint as they rolled around in the pentagram, never leaving the confined space of the other circles. Scootaloo and her friend watched as the glow became brighter as a small tornado formed inside the star. The gems, as well as the clipboard Scootaloo had been holding, got swept up in the mass. The Phillies held onto the bed frames for dear life, not wanting to get caught in the blistering wind that threatened to knock them off their haunches, or hooves, since we are not reading a cop. Their hearts were pounding, and they could do nothing but watch the events unfold in front of them. The tornado just swept up the rebel and the paper as soon almost a solid mass of glowing gems and stone. The wind started to die down, but the rebel seemed to spin on its own, some sort of magic holding in place. Finally, the wind all stopped, and the words on the wall had actually reverted back to archaic Polish. But the rebel still spun slowly around the center of the pentagram, hovering in the circle and shuddering the gems almost eternally. Is it over? Sweetie Belle shuddered, cowering behind Scootaloo and trying to sneak into a little space that she could occupy. Before any Before her comrades could answer, a high-pitched, muffled laugh responded from within the stone's prison. It grew louder and louder until it sounded like there was actually a pony trapped inside the prison of rubble and paper. Sweetie Belle gave a little whimper, and suddenly the floating rubble all stopped rotating, but the maniacal laughing catching to a high to a player's sigh. The rubble dropped to reveal the pony making the sound, the gem falling back into their position except the star gem, which fell onto the pony's back. Star-Lord. Dun dun dun. She had a light blue coat and was wearing a set of patient scrubs. Her gray hair was strewn about as if it had never been cared for. The earth pony gazed over the three fillies, wearing the biggest smile she could. Her pupils dilated almost pinpricks of the whites of her eyes. One of her eyes seemed to look slightly to the left of the other, giving the impression that she wasn't looking directly at them. The three fillies were scared slightly, silent, in the corner, as the pony standing in the pentagram gazed around the room. What are you doing, Rainbow Dash? Get out of here. Um, let's go down. It's nice. It's Nice to see the old place. She hissed, turning back, menacing gaze back at the three friends huddled in the corner. Thanks for letting me here again. She took a step, leaving the pentagram, but her front hoof, her entire body, turned slightly transparent as the star gem fell through her. Oh, dot 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 dot. The pony trailed off, on looking down at her own transparent hoof. She dang, the dreaded smile never fading from her face. Looks like we didn't get everything completely right, huh, girl? She spoke again. Looking back, get out of here. Looking. Hi, girl. She spoke again, looking back over Scootaloo, Sweetieville, and Apple Bloom. Dun dun dun. God help them. Do we forget the sacrifice again? She clearly hummed the three, walking closer and closer, her teeth growing sharper and her eyes turning blood red. I'm waiting. Her smile started to fade, being slowly replaced by an equally menacing frown, her teeth morphing into razor sharp points. Suddenly, her hair seemed to start blowing. Blow. I'll better blow you into the wind despite the lack of current in the room. Why are you following me? Back off! And her eyes seems to glow with an unnatural light. Get out of here! With voices that look like a demon's, she shouted at the fillies. Sacrifice! Laughing at the three fillies, she let loose the ear-splitting screech, and the three fillies cried out in terror. The three fillies, the three closed their eyes, and waiting for the feel the thump of the demon pounding on them, with a swift chill coursed through them, and then silence overcame them. Scootaloo opened her eyes before the others, noticing that the room was back to normal itself, with the exception of two major details. The shrines in the wall! She shouted, and the other two, who were finally starting to open their eyes, they're gone. Scootaloo trailed off, looking at the spot where the pentagram had been. Not even an outline of dust remained. It was as if it had never existed in the first place. Cutie? Sweetie Belle said from the very corner of the room, still shaking and curled up in a ball, her eyes tearing up. I, I want to go home. She finished with a snuffle, and a tear rolling down her face. Oh. Applebloom saw that her friend had finally been broken by the police and went to her side, giving her a small hug. I'll be okay, sweetie. She gave a stern look to Scootaloo. We're going to go home now. Right now. Right, Scootaloo? Applebloom finished through getting grinding teeth, staring down Scootaloo, and with a look of death. Yeah, we should probably get going. Scootaloo tried to stay nautically. It is getting quite late. Scootaloo joined Applebloom in the corner of the room, and together they helped Sweetie Belle to her hooves. The unicorns kept sniffling, and only half aware of her surroundings now. The trio left the room and headed left, no, left down the rest of the hallway, and Tom not stopping to check out any of the other rooms. Every few steps, Sweetie Belle winced from her busted front leg, but eventually The trio of tried Crusaders made it to the end of the hallway, dragging the bait scattering throughout, daubing the bait scattered throughout this thin, rubble-filled building. The hallway continued on to the left, but the Crusaders just wanted to leave the place as quickly as possible. A loud rumble, along with the occasional flash of lightning, told them that the storm had been seen earlier being was bringing down upon them. Peeking through the window of the doorway leading to the stairs, Scootaloo made another discovery. The whole stairway is blocked off with junk, she said, kicking the door fruitlessly. I don't think we can get out of this way. Well, when we can continue on to the left here, Applebloom replied with while Sweetie Belle stuck by as close as she could possibly muster. If the hospital is built like I think it is, then there's there on all four corners. We just need to head to the next corner, which is left. Applebloom could feel just something jabbing at her side. Turning around, she saw that Sweetie Belle had been trying to get her attention. The unicorn hadn't spoken a peep after the last mentoring that she wanted to go home, mentioning that she wanted to go home. Sweetie Belle pointed down to the hallway. um Down to the hallway to show the two that they haven't noticed. The hallway's floor had collapsed into the fourth floor, leading downward and blocking out the areas to the front door. Damn, that sucks. Ah! Applebloom said, realizing that this moment what this meant. Well, we're just going to have to look for a back way, or maybe even an open window to jump out. At least we could probably get back into the floor without killing ourselves. They could do that, or they could get like sheets, find a window, like tie them up together, make sure it's like they could have like a sturdy bed, and they could tie it to the legs, and then they'll be able to jump off, and they'll be able to go down that way. But let's see what happens. Let's get going then. Scootaloo said, utterly eager to get out of this place. No sense wasting time up here. She finished trotting all over to the hole and looking down into it. Oh, I'm guessing they're going down the hole. Let's see what happens. Applebloom suspected the pentagram had gotten to Scootaloo just as much as it got to Sweetie Belle and herself. The crusade itself was just a little too far for Scootaloo to consider jumping, and with all the tides and pace, the slopey floor looking into the side of the sports, it didn't look too difficult to get down. But steel rubber stuck out of the concrete in several places, making it a rather dangerous fall. Watch where you step. Scootaloo warned the others. You don't want to hurt yourself on these exposed metal bits. Metal bits, bits of metal. Taking a cautious step over the edge, Scootaloo gave a small leap and slid down the makeshift ramp, narrowing a whoa there. Narrowing, avoiding the jutting metal near the bottom. She stumbled a bit in the landing and recovered quickly, with the help of her wings. Taking a few steps back, she saw just how far down she had slid. She probably wouldn't have taken the slide if she realized how far down it was. If it was a straight if it was a straight drop, she could have broken a leg easily. Not wanting to scare her friends any further than they already were, she called up to the second floor. It's safe as long as you go down the middle. I tried to do shouting thing, but it it didn't really work. If you got what I'm saying. Gotcha. Applebloom called out, I'm sending down Sweetie Belle. Scootaloo heard a small squeak came from the top of the stairs, followed by some amount of bickering and turning to pleading. After about a minute, Apple Bloom called down again with an audible huff. Never mind, I'll come down some. Seeing Apple Bloom put a yellow hoof over the edge, Scootaloo watched his escape amount of perfectly down the floor and landing directly into the floor below without so much of a sidestep. Well, you seem to know what you're doing, Scootaloo remarked with a surprised glance. What? Uh, me, right here. I've had to slide down a bunch of hills before on the farm, and one of our visits to court? Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore, she replied, turning back to see Sweetie Belle looking over the edge of a small hole over a frightened stare. I know this Sweetie Belle, so let's do. You can do it, sweetie. No, no. Who's talking anyway? Just relax and let gravity take you. The unicorn merely nodded and put her hoof slightly over the edge, hesitating to put any of her weight on it. Oh, Jesus. The unicorn merely nodded and put. Okay, I read that. Just go for it, Squirt! Okay, that caught me off guard. Just go for it, sweet! Scootaloo engorged her terrified friend. Sweetie Belle took a gulp and put her other hoof, but all over to the best and let gravity take over. Mid-slide, one of her hooves started to inch away from the others. She tried to correct it, but accidentally hit a small edge. Trembled, tumbled head over heels down the slant floor, giving a quick shout and leading her with a thump on the head concrete floor, her body aching. Oof, that's gotta suck. Sweet Belle, you ain't got that good luck, girl. Nope, you ain't got that good luck. Oh my god, are you okay? Scootaloo ran over to her friend and helped her up. A small pool of blood was forming below Sweetie Belle, dropping from her nose. I wanna go home. She mumbled. She mumbled, blood streaming from her nose. She could barely stand, even with the help of her two friends. She looked close to unconsciousness. We're gonna get you home soon, Squid. We're going to get you home soon, Squid. Letting Sweetie lean on hers. Apple Bloom looked over at Scootaloo. Quick, go find a way out. Apple Bloom, Apple Bloom. Sweetie Belle slurred slightly, turning her head towards her friend lazily, her eyes looking as if she had just chugged a bunch of Applejack's famous ciders. Oh wow! Seriously, so you're saying she looks drunk right now? Wow, nice. And she's just a filly. Nice. What's up? What's what's up, Sweetie Belle? Applemoon said, giving her a fake smile while Scootaloo ran off down the hall, quickly searching for various doors for an exit. I Sweetie trailed off for a moment, staring blankly down the hall. I don't feel so good. So, dot, 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 dot. Before Applebloom could react, the unicorn spilled the intensity of the contents of her stomach onto the floor in front of her. uh, Sheba was dangerously pale. Well, how can you tell she is white? Uh, she's whiter than usual? Uh, uh, Applebloom needed to stop the bleeding. How did we get down here? Sweetie Belle vaguely asked her surroundings, turning to Applebloom. There, okay. Turning to Applebloom, Oh, hey there, AB. And that is, as believe you guys can see, that is 20 minutes. Hopefully you enjoyed this reading with the cam this time, and I will be doing it more this way, so you guys just don't have to stare at the picture. You'll be able to actually read with me, and you'll be able to actually see my reaction. I think this is a pretty good way to doing it. And if you like it, please let me know down in the description. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Till next time. I already said that. Kit Kat Happy Face. Rah!